Recently, some intriguing details were revealed about the setting of Dune Prophecy at New York Comic-Con, where the cast and crew discussed what we can expect to see about the characters of the series and how they're motivated by the backdrop of the story being set so close after the events of the Machine Crusade, known as the Butlerian Jihad. So this is an article by The Hollywood Reporter, and it says the Dune Prophecy cast and producers teased new series details and how the show is connected to Denis Villeneuve's films while discussing the HBO and Max series during New York Comic-Con on Thursday. During the hour-long panel, new footage was teased, along with appearances by showrunner Alison Shapker, executive producer Jordan Goldberg, and along with several of the cast members, including the Harkonnen sisters. It goes on to say that the panel kicked off with a trailer foretelling troubles greater than just Arrakis, with challenges for the king, emperor, hidden in plain sight, and a mission to erase the sisters from existence. Shapker soon after teased where the series will begin, telling attendees, "We are in the shadow of the wars and in the aftermath of the fight against AI. Computers, thinking machines have been outlawed. Does that mean they're not floating around the universe in various ways? Who knows?" the showrunner said. Humans have to strive to fill the voids of what used to be performed by technology. Now, humans are coming to try and push the boundaries of what it means to be human. I don't know how much they're going to preview of the Great Revolt, the Machine Crusade. The showrunner did say that the setting of the show was in the aftermath of the Butlerian Jihad, the Great Revolt against thinking machines. It looked like we got a glimpse of that. So we're going to see that we're in the shadow of this war. We're in the aftermath of the revolt against machines. And the question she asked, does that mean they're not floating around the universe in various ways? Who knows? And we do know that there's technology, there's organizations that still tinker with things, are very isolationist, or their technology and their genetic experiments, those are seen as very taboo. But technology was used to a degree that kind of skirted the lines of that. But in the very early days of the aftermath of the jihad, it was any and all computing devices or outlawed, and possession of which or anything like that was death sentence. It was a really dramatic, catastrophic conflict. And as Reverend Mother Guys Helen Mohayim spoke of, that the machines were doing the thinking for humans, and humans were dominating other humans through these machines. And so the Great Revolt happened. It kind of plays out differently in the Brian Herbert novels. Initially, it's very Terminator conflict, all-out war between humans and intelligent machines, AI. It's a conflict we've seen portrayed numerous times, but Frank Herbert, the way he described it, was more of the conflict or philosophical conflict between humans and other humans using technology, and the rebellion against machines, which also included a war against humans who were using them. It was a very devastating conflict that changed the universe forever going forward, and what led to humans looking inward to advance their talents, their natural talents. So we see the formation of the Spacing Guild, or continued formation of the Spacing Guild, and the Bene Gesserit were remnants of that previous conflict. They came out of the conflict already established. And then the Mentats came around, the Suk doctors, and many of these institutions turning inward and advancing to replace the void of technology. That's what's so cool about Frank Herbert's universe. All the ways these different institutions chose to advance themselves in order to progress, and the ways that they also regressed. What changed, what stayed the same. And I think for Brian Herbert's stuff, there is that conflict, there is that wave of humans with anti-technology views that kind of was tacked on towards the end, because that's why people were so against technology, is because technology had enslaved them, literally. So there will be that. That is an element and a sentiment that will be there, apparently, from the showrunner's comments. So, I mean, that's in keeping with the spirit of what Frank Herbert did write. And this was something that it did intrigue me. More about the Emperor, Javico Carino, played by Mark Strong. It showed more of that political drama. He's trying to hold on. It's a tenuous hold on to the throne. And there's these scenes of the Landsrad and these other events where he's looking around the crowds of other players of the Imperium vying for power. At one point he says, if I don't have Arrakis under control, they'll feed me to the worm. So it looks like there's going to be some sabotage, some efforts to undermine his rule. And that makes sense. That's intriguing. And Something that I've kind of, I don't know, I'm theorizing on, and I'm not sure. And this is as it relates to Desmond Hart's character, played by Travis Fimmel. He's the one that's talking to the Emperor here, and they're kind of conspiring together. He kind of seems like he's acting like a Mentat or a Mentat master of assassins. He's very mysterious, but the way they're kind of talking and having this confidence in each other, so their storylines are going to be closely aligned, and that really intrigues me. So Desmond Hart's character was saying that your problems are bigger than just Arrakis. There is a war going on behind the scenes that you're not aware of. And this is his connection to try and take down the Bene Gesserit, the Sisterhood, to wipe them from existence. That was the part of the trailer that did intrigue me the most, because that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see these other characters and what their stories had to do with the show. I do like that the power struggles throughout the Imperium are going to be presented. They're going to be explored. Considering that the Emperor has sort of a fragile hold on power, I wonder if this is going to lead to what the Sardaukar will become. We know the Sardaukar kind of exist, so to speak. They're very closely connected with House Carino, but I don't think they get really established as the prison planet, well, the guise of the prison planet on Seleucus Secundus until later. And this is when they are going to become the most fearsome. And the Sardaukar killers, the reputation of them, is what was one of the major parts of why House Carino was able to keep their power for so long, for 10,000 years. And I think it was theorized in the story of Dune that even all of the armies of the great houses combined would not be enough to confront the Emperor's forces. Military strength is what basically ensured their continued dominion for thousands of years. So it's interesting that at this point, Emperor Carino, his throne or his rule seems very tenuous. And the Sardaukar are definitely strong. They are a formidable military force, but I don't think they become the extent of their reputation until like Seleucus Secundus is turned into the training ground. Kind of in the same spirit of why the Fremen are so formidable. The really hostile environment of Seleucus Secundus and that religious fanaticism is what makes them so deadly. I think they did say that Desmond Hart had some, or they referred to him as a religious fanatic in one of the articles I found. And the Sardaukar do have that. They have that warrior religion. What power does he have? The trailer definitely seemed to indicate there's something about him that's more than meets the eye. I wonder if we're going to see more of that, the early stages of the Sardaukar formulating, because we do see Desmond Hart's character walking with the soldiers then. So you wonder, like, who is he? Like, is he a sword master? Does he have Mentat connections? He has some sort of background. They're still keeping details close to the vest in that regard, but he's connected with the Emperor, definitely. He has this power. We're not sure what that power is, but it's going to help him in his plan to basically take down the Bene Gesserit. That's the thing, though, with prequels, because we already know that plan will ultimately fail. Because we know where the Bene Gesserit are 10,000 years later. But whatever he does might change the Bene Gesserit's plans moving forward. Maybe they'll slink back to the shadows even more in their plans to control human destiny. Maybe they went too far under Valia Harkonnen's leadership in trying to control these factors, trying to control the Imperium. Maybe they went too far, too fast, and maybe made themselves alert to others in the threat that they pose. And they don't want that. They don't want the Imperium to know their plans and their powers, or the extent of their powers. They know they can truth say, but that's how they are valuable to them. So it'll be interesting to see how this power struggle in the wake of the Butlerian Jihad plays out.